Hey, everybody, it's Pastor Daniel with Connection Church. We're on day 11 of our 40 Days of Purpose, and today's guest is Brian. How's it going, Brian?
Good. How you doing, Daniel?
I'm good. I'm missing you, though, because, we're here in New York. You went back to Florida to spend time with family during the stay-at-home stuff. I'm missing seeing you in person.
Yeah, I miss being in New York. I wish I could be there, but we gotta, I guess, accept where we are now, and pretty soon we'll be back there in New York to.
Exactly. Everybody's working together to stay apart to do what's best right
Right,
now. So
right,
one day we will be reunited. So today
right.
it's talking about becoming best friends with God, which might be really good news for us right now, as a lot of us are feeling isolated in many ways. And so it talked about being best friends with God. Jesus has allowed us to have this new relationship with God. And there are going to be 6 ways to kind of uh, enjoy this relationship. And he goes over 2 of them today. The first one is through constant conversation, prayer. And the second one is through constant meditation, which is where we're continually focusing on the Word of God. So, as you read through today, what stood out to you?
The idea of praying constantly really uh, jumped out to me because I think, and not just praying constantly, but not being having to be formal, not
Mm,
having to be on our knees, and pray, but like we could throughout the day pray and just and meditate and be and seek God's presence. I mean, it just it seems so amazing to think of just constantly praying with God. I know I struggle with thinking that I can only pray with God on my knees, with my hands like this. So it was a really wonderful picture he was painting.
yeah, for me too. Sometimes, even Jesus modeled how we're to go to the quiet place and get away. He went into the garden and he prayed by himself. So there's definitely a time where that needs to happen. But there's a person who's named Brother Lawrence, and he wrote "Practicing the Presence of God," and he said the key to friendship with God is not changing what you do, but changing your attitude toward what you do. So what you normally do for yourself, now you do for God, whether it's these menial tasks or whatever. But the reality that God's with us all the time is kind of hard to imagine. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So what kind of changes do you think this will have in your life? Just having this uh, relationship with God in this way.
Well, I've been trying, for some time now to have more of a constant conversation with God, but I'm just I still struggle with the idea that you can only pray or be close to God in one particular way. So I'm really looking forward to, having more time, more conversation, and I'm thinking that it's going to help with stress and anxiety and worry, because if I'm constantly focused on God, then I won't be focused on those other things.
Yeah, and I think it kind of reminds me of my dog, um, Carly. She's a little miniature golden doodle, and whenever I'm at home, she just follows me around all the time because she's expecting a treat, or she
Hmm.
just knows that being around me could lead to going to the park and to play or whatever. And it makes me think, I kind of need to be like that, like realize that God is
Yeah,
close to me, and I want to be close to Him because He is a good friend. He is someone who loves me and cherishes time with me, and wants to be with
yeah,
me as well. You and I were talking earlier, and you mentioned these breath prayers, right? Um,
yes.
do you want to kind of share that?
Well, that I really thought that was a great practical piece of advice for how we could do this. Just, simply saying, "You are for me. You are not against me. I can do all things." They remind us, who Christ is, and it's speaking to God. And so, I really thought that was very powerful, like the breath prayers.
Yeah, me too. Just having those constant short little prayers we can remember just to keep saying over and over, because we need to remind ourselves over and over that God's with us throughout the day.
Yeah,
Um, I'll close with this. It said, when it comes to the prayer part, it says, your goal is not a feeling. We're not trying to do these things so that we can feel good, but our goal is to have this continual awareness of the reality that God is with us. Now, that reality will bring some good feelings for sure, but the goal is to know that God is with us. Um, the final way I'll close for us today is the verse. It says, "Friendship with God is reserved for those who reverence Him." So today, remember that God, through Jesus, has become our best friend. Brian, it was so good to see you again today, and
Good to see you.
thanks for making time to be interviewed and encouraging us in this way. So, for everybody else, we will see you tomorrow on day 12 tomorrow. Bye, guys.